Josh, I know we talked just a couple days ago about your conversation with Buddy and about getting back to being yourself and having fun. So really basic question, how much fun have you had over the last couple of days?
So what I said was, yeah, first of all, obviously, we've won the past 2 games, so that helps with having fun. But yeah, man, it's always nice to have hits and RBIs in a game. But when I come back down to earth, that's when we'll know. When I'm just having fun at bats, even getting out and still having that confidence. So as of right now, we're riding high. We're having a good time. But I know how baseball works.
Was there, beyond the taking the pressure off yourself, was there anything mechanical or anything about your approach that you tweaked, or was it more about just the pressure and playing baseball again?
No, I think there's definitely a couple of things. I definitely felt late a lot of times. So right now I'm just trying to focus on getting down early or starting early. A couple of things with my hand path, and I feel like sometimes I kind of rolling over a little bit, but I think most of that is to do with timing. So not really mechanically, just starting early and just having that confidence.
Great, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
More questions for Josh today?
Well, I'll keep asking if nobody else wants.
We'll have Tracy jump in here, and Patrick, if we want to circle back, we can. Go ahead, Tracy.
Do you at times have to remind yourself, like when you were going through the struggle there, do you have to get past the point of worrying about being in a slump and fighting and just like look forward to the next day as opposed to remembering yesterday?
Yeah, I usually tend to refresh or restart the day pretty well. I never really wake up all angry. I usually wake up pretty happy. But when I felt that pressure, when I was getting to the field, it felt like everything was kind of daunting on me and overwhelming. But now it's just I just kind of come to the field and honestly just be grateful. Be grateful that I'm in a big league clubhouse and I get to start and I get to showcase my talent. So yeah, man, it's just honestly, baseball's all confidence. If you come in the stadium and you want to come in and you want to compete, you want to battle, you're not worried about chasing hits or worried about your average kind of stuff. It's just so much easier to play. So as long as I can maintain that and keep a level head and not be so roller coaster, I think I don't see why I can't continue this throughout the year.
Because I guess the other thing I wonder about is when you signed with the Rockies organization, it was like, what do I have to lose type of situation, right? There was no hype. There was no one. I mean, you weren't Nolan Arenado's cousin at that time. You were just a guy going to rookie ball that didn't get drafted. And as you climb the ladder, it would seem like there might be an effort sometimes to start pressure on yourself that now I have to live up to this. And then you have to get to the confidence standpoint where you say, I just have to be me. I don't have to live up to anything. Is that fair?
Yeah, 100%. I always felt like for me to move up or for me to start playing every day, especially definitely in the minors, I always felt like I had to go above and beyond just to put myself on the map. So when I got here, I felt like I still had to do that to keep going above and beyond just to play. But what I'm starting to realize this past week and a half is, I don't need to do that. I need to do what I'm capable of doing. And I think the past couple of days have shown that. But honestly, baseball's a season. It's a difficult sport. So as long as I have people remind me, I can remind myself that I don't have to, I don't have to be Mike Trout. I'm not going to be Nolan. I can just be jogging. So I think I just got to focus on that.
Well, congratulations on getting to that point. I think you'll have more fun and it's enjoyable to watch you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Danielle.
Hi, Josh. I'm sorry if this was already asked. I had some Zoom troubles. But when you were going through that time period where you weren't hitting well, besides kind of adjusting your attitude and not taking everything as seriously, did you change anything mechanically at all?
Yeah. So what I was saying before was Some mechanically, not too much. I wanted to kind of stay through on pitches. I feel like I was going a little bit, so kind of focus on my hand path. But I think for me, the most important thing was just getting on time. I think I was too worried about my mechanics. I wasn't worried about the only thing that matters was, getting that timing down. And I think that's everything. Nobody has a perfect swing, but if you get on time, you do damage. So I think for me, it's about starting early and getting down.
And was your swing feeling good all along, or did that kind of come sort of when you started to relax a little bit?
No, I did feel good. I didn't feel perfect, but nobody's perfect in this game. But in BP and cage work, it was great. And I think that's why I was so frustrated. I felt like for the most part, my swing felt pretty decent. There was a couple instances here and there, but I think that was good. I'm like, man, my swing feels pretty good right now. I got some things to tweak, but the results aren't coming. So so me kind of shifting my thought process, coming off mechanics and just strictly going timing has really helped.
Oh, thanks, man. Have a good game.
Thank you.
Daniel?
Oh, hi, Josh. I know you kind of touched on this earlier about, not trying to be Mike Trout or Nolan Arenado and just being, just being Josh. Is that kind of a mentality that you've carried, not just in your pro career, but like in high school and when you played college ball?
Yeah, there's always a stigma, because I played third and I played first in the minors, and I played short in college, but there's always a stigma like, I had to be a power hitter. I honestly remember even having coaches in the minor leagues that were definitely not named, but hey, if you're going to play corner infield, you better somehow. And that always kind of bothered me because I knew I wasn't just a pure power hitter, but I knew I could play and I knew I could hit the ball hard. It took me a little bit to kind of convince myself, like, hey, I don't need to be anybody. I just need to be me. And I hit a couple of homers the last couple of days. I'm not saying I'm going to hit 40 this year, but it's good to know that even when I'm not trying to hit homers or be a power hitter, it still comes. And I think that's just hitting the ball hard. So, yeah, man, I always refer back to it's all about that confidence and that trust. I trust in yourself, knowing that that I can get it done. I don't need to be anybody else.
And then, like you said, just having that trust, is that something that you've felt like, during these last few games that you've been doing better and kind of playing really well that, you've just kind of gained back?
Yeah, it's especially in the box, man. In the box, it's not chasing hits. It's not, trying to get that big hit, that big RBI. It's just, I'm going to get my timing and I'm going to try to see something down the middle of the plate. Just be as simple as possible, man. And that's me. Before I was looking at scouting reports for hours and trying to be meticulous and trying to be Charlie Blackford with the scouting reports and I just had our hitting coach Manny's kind of remind me, like, hey man, that ain't you, that ain't you. You just got to be you. And for me, that's not really worrying about what he's got and what the percentages and all that stuff. It's just look at that ball down the middle and hit it hard. So it's been working on. I'm not gonna have 4 RBIs every game, but if I can keep with that process, I don't see why I can't continue to do well.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
Last two will go Owen and then Patrick.
Hey, Josh. A few quick ones for you. You've been doing much better in May in general than you did in April at the plate. And that, I think, mirrors last season for you, starting a little slow and finishing really strong. Do you see any pattern there? Or is that just coincidence?
No, if you look back, literally every minor league season, I mean, my month of April, I'm probably like under 200 average, like every single April. I don't know what it is. Maybe I put too much pressure to start hot, and everyone loves to start hot. Nobody loves to start cold, but it's AA, even in AAA. My MVP season was pretty bad in April. Obviously, last year, 19, I was pretty bad in April. So it always takes me a little bit to adjust, and I think I do a pretty good job at adjusting. Not saying the best, but I don't want to jinx myself. Whatever accurate, but I feel like I'm pretty good at that. So there's definitely a trend. If you look back, there's definitely a trend. So I don't want to say I wasn't worried about it because I was definitely worried, but it's nice knowing that I usually get better with time and reps. And that's, you know, the month of April is usually not who I am. So,
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then another trend seems to be this season that you're doing a lot better with the runner on base. Does that tell you anything, you know, that your numbers go up when you've got somebody on base? Does it tell you anything that helps you in other situations when there's no one on base?
Yeah, I think, you know, that's probably bad to say, but I feel like I even more focus with guys on base, just on how important it is. And I know, especially as of the past couple of months, I've really like slowed down. So, you know, maybe nobody on base, I'm trying to get a hit and trying to, like, you know, start the inning. Guys in our position, I just, you know, let it come to you and know that the pressure's on the pitcher, not on you. So I think when you kind of think about that, it kind of relieves some of the stress. You know, hey, he's got to come to me. So I'm like, no, I think it's been working so far, but you know, obviously I can do a better job, but I think we're going in the right direction.
And then when you talk about, and a lot of people talk about, you know, trying to enjoy the game and making that a primary goal and a key to success, as opposed to putting the thoughts of winning a little bit farther out of mind. How do you, that seems like a tough balance to kind of balance that just enjoyment with the enjoyment that you recognize comes from winning. But how do you put that latter in the back of your mind and still make things work?
Yeah, that's a good question. You know, of course, like it's such a fun night. You know, when you're having fun, and you don't want to seem like the guy who doesn't care. You know, who's just he was having fun.
Yeah.
You know, people are getting on the door for that. You know, he was having fun, but you know, he wasn't doing that well. So that's fine. No, he doesn't care, and obviously that can be further from the truth. You know, if you're in a big uniform, and you're in a clubhouse, obviously you care. You know, it's your livelihood. But at the same time, you know, you can't be pressing because nobody plays well like that. So it's just finding, it's just looking deep down in yourself, knowing that, you know, baseball, being a baseball player isn't defining you as a person. That's your job. You know, whether obviously you love it and it's your livelihood, but it's not you as a person. So I think, you know, I'm starting to realize that. I'm obviously not fully there, but I'm starting to realize that, you know, I can't live and die off every game, off every at bat. Once I can do that, I feel like then you free yourself up, and the guys get freed up to win games. You know, nobody wins games by like, hey, you know, we have to win, we have to get guys on base. It's more like, hey, trust in your abilities. You know what you're good at, know what you're not, and have fun and smack people up. So it's a fine line, man, but it's something that the best teams control, and the best teams they do that very well.
And then lastly, since you talked on behalf of pitchers earlier and you have pitched this year, can you talk, I don't think we've had a chance to talk to you about your pitching outing. How much fun was that? And, you know, how did you approach that? And how has that lingered? Have you gotten, you know, some bragging rights for being able to get out there with a clean inning?
But came out for Brad, came out to me, nice coach. Hey, you pitched before, in high school, contact guy, you know, no strikeouts, but you know, those strikes, and I was throwing in the cages, and I was throwing pretty good. And he's like, well, it's just, you know, 50%, no curveballs, no nothing. So first of all, I was really nervous when I got out there, and you know, throwing fastballs, and I give this sign curveball, and Dom is shaking his head. He's like, but that was great, and I tell you what, I threw one ball against Beltman, I think, and I got scared. I thought I was just going to walk the house. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going to go straight. But it was great. I wanted to let it rip. Not what I wanted to at least see what I had in the tank. But yeah, that was a no-go from the skip.
All right. Thanks a lot.